into the senior ranks and continuing their success. So the court officials being brought onto court. All the court officials volunteer their time. Umpires and service judges from around the world to ensure impartiality. So, this women's singles, the number 4 seed, Saina up against the Japanese youngster, sayaka Sato. So here come the players. Welcome return to the international stage for Saina Nehwal. Forced to miss the Super Series finals in Taipei. First week of January due to an ankle injury, which she picked up in the final of the Hong Kong Open. Hong Kong Open, the last of the 2010 Super Series events, which she won. Won in great style too, beating Wang Shashian in the final. Yeah, both the players just, I'm not surprised, saying to the court officials, well, before we get underway, need the court mopped of all the perspiration from that marathon men's singles encounter, 1 hour and 28 minutes. Well, Saina Nehwal's world ranking down 1 place this week, down to number 5 from 4 a week ago. She is the number 4 seed though, and that win-loss record for the year, an indication that indeed she didn't compete at either the Super Series finals or the Malaysia Super Series event last week. So this is her first tournament of 2011 for 20-year-old Saina Nehwal. Her opponent, unseeded, the 19-year-old, down 1 place in the world ranking from last week. So both these players dropping 1 place in the world ranking. She's currently at 28. And of course these two players met each other in the final of the Indonesian Super Series event last year. Victory went, as you can see, to the Indian number 1 in 3 games, and that meant that Saina Nehwal had retained her Indonesian Open Super Series crown that she had won the previous year, 2009, and also secured her 3rd title in 3 weeks. That was an extraordinary run of success from Saina Nehwal. Started that 3-week winning spree at the India Grand Prix Gold event, and then won the Singapore Super Series event, and then, as we just saw in the final of the Indonesian Super Series, beat her opponent of today in that final. In fact, 5 titles last year for Saina Nehwal, because not only those 3, but she won gold medal at the Commonwealth Games in Delhi. Last gold medal of the 2010 Commonwealth Games to be decided on the last day of competition. And in fact, her gold medal, having come back from a match point down against the Malaysian Wong Mu Chu, secured India at 2nd on the medal table. Took them above England for the first time ever. So, monumental result for India. Turns Saina Nehwal into a megastar.
On my right, Sayaka Sato, Japan. And on my left, Saina Nehwal, India. saina nehwal to serve. Level play.
So the 20-year-old from India, Saina Nehwal, against the 19-year-old from Japan, sayaka Sato.
Service over. 1-all.
Now, as far as their first round opponents are concerned, as far as Nehwal is concerned, she had a tough match against Tai Si Ying of Taipei. Dropped the opening game, 19-21, and only won the deciding game 22-20. A match lasting 50 minutes. As far as Sato was concerned, she disposed of the Russian veteran Ella Deal in 2 straight games. Comprehensive victory in 32 minutes. Now, of course, I was mentioning, Ian, that Nehwal back from those injury problems, that right ankle that she injured in the final of the Hong Kong Open. And she did look slightly tentative to me in her first round encounter yesterday, which is presumably why she went the full distance.
Yes, first match back. She's a player, you're talking about her winning 3 back-to-back tournaments last year. She's a player who thrives on a lot of tournament play, and not having played for several weeks, she did look a little bit rusty last night, but she may be the better for that match because physically she's a very fine athlete. I don't think she'll have physical problems after the match last night, and it may just have played her into a little bit of form.
Service over. 3-all.
Sato, of course, not only silver medal at the World Junior Championships when she lost out to her opponent of today, but a bronze medalist last year in the World University Championships in Taipei. She's, of course, a student at the Nippon Sports Science University in Tokyo, combining studies with her international badminton.
5-3.
Talking, Ian, of Saina Nehwal shooting to stardom, mega stardom in India, who's reported to have been the 3rd highest earner in Indian sport, behind a couple of cricketers. Sachin Tendulkar apparently is the highest earner, and she's number 3 on the list. That's pretty impressive, for a female athlete, and when you consider how popular cricket is in India, again, that's very impressive that she commands that sort of sponsorship deal.
Well, I think she's somebody who's generated as much press as any badminton player in the world over the last 6 months. I mean, she's had a lot of accolades in India. We all know there are big Indian populations all around the world, and she's a very much talked about person at the moment. She says she tries to avoid adverse publicity, but I mean, there are a lot of stories generated about her at the moment that sort of reflect how famous she's become within the Indian community. There are a lot of rumours about her starring in a Bollywood film, I heard, just before Christmas, that she denies, but they've come from somewhere. And
5-7.
At some stage there was an article saying that she was about to announce a marriage, and she came out and said, well, she hasn't got a clue who that would be to. But yes, she's become very, very famous in her own country, that's for sure. And you say she's just behind two Indian cricketers. If she's a lot of the players she's ahead of earn a lot of money through the IPL now, the Indian Cricket League, and that means she's earning very, very good money indeed.
Yeah, good rally.
9-5.
Well, as far as Nehwal is concerned, It was 2009 when she won the Indian Sports Personality of the Year. So been a bit of a megastar for some time. It wasn't just her success at the Commonwealth Games, first ever Indian player in the quarterfinal of the Olympics in Beijing, first ever Indian female player to reach a semi-final of the All England Championships last year. And an awful lot of comparison between her and, of course, Sania Mirza, tennis player who also resides in Hyderabad. And Mirza, in contrast, really courts the publicity and the high-profile celebrity lifestyle, whereas Saina Nehwal shies away from it, just wants to concentrate on her badminton.
11-5 interval.
And she's certainly got a good lead in this opening game. 6-point advantage as they go to the mid-game interval. It is quite a contrast between the two female sporting superstars of India.
Yes, am I allowed to say that Saina's a much better athlete?
You can say that if you wish, Ian. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, I think it's clear looking at the two athletes, both very talented, but it's Saina that's put the effort in and got herself in great physical condition, I have to say. She's a super athlete, makes the best of the talent that she's got. She's one of the few players in the world at the moment that can challenge the Chinese players. It's not only physical, of course, mentally she's very, very tough. In some of those tournaments you mentioned, Jill, she had to come through 2 or 3 Chinese opponents.
11-5 play.
And displays great mental toughness. Relishes the opportunity to play the best players in the world.
Just push that wide. In fact, coach and mentor, not the gentleman we've just seen coming onto court, but back home in India, coached and mentored by Pulela Gopichand, who of course won the All England Championship in 2001. And he was telling me some time ago that her outstanding quality, he said, of course she's a good athlete, she's got good racket skills, he said, but the one outstanding quality to him was Saina Nehwal's mental strength.
Yeah, I would go along with that. At this level, all the girls are very fit, very strong, they've all got good technique, and it comes down very often to that mental toughness and the ability to deal with different situations. And as I say, what I like about her is how she relishes playing the top players. She's one of the few girls in the world that enjoys the challenge of taking on these Chinese players. She's not afraid of them. She takes them on at their own game. She's not scared of the physicality of the matches against the Chinese, and she's a really, really great prospect, I have to say. And there are still areas she can improve. I mean, this is a girl who will get better, I think.
Expand on that for me, please, Ian. I mean, what areas do you think she should be working on?
I think tactically she still has periods in the game where she can become a little bit passive, where she lets the other players dictate the play and she relies on her physical ability to come through. I think she needs to become slightly more proactive in some of her tactical play. And I also think technically she can get a little bit more variety overhead with her overhead play. I think she's got a good racket technique, but she doesn't use a big array of strokes from the rear court, and I feel she's got the ability to actually add some variety and add 1 or 2 weapons from there.
Just missed it.
Service over. 14-9.
Making her 3rd appearance here at the Korean Open, Sato. Oh, that's
Service
lovely.
over.
Great disguise on the drop shot.
3rd appearance at 19.
Yeah, well, 3rd appearance also for Saina Nehwal, and the first time she played it was 2006. '16-year-old.
Well, that was the first time. Well, I had seen her play before, but the first time I really noticed her qualities were in the Commonwealth Games in Melbourne, of course, where I was managing the England team, and we'd played India in the group, and they'd played the experienced pop act against our number one, Tracy Hallam, and Tracy'd won quite comfortably. When we came to the knockout stages in the semi-final, India threw in the young girl, and that was a different kettle of fish altogether. She was able to overcome Tracy, who eventually went on to win the individual gold, of course. And it was clear then she was a special talent.
Service over 11-50.
Yeah, clearly long.
Service over 16-11.
A little lucky with the net cord there.
Service over.
Of course, we've talked a lot about Saina, but Sato is another young player with great potential. She's another one who actually enjoys the physicality of the game. Another one who's got good mental resistance, very resilient player, never gives up.
Yes, I remember her at the Indonesian Super Series event when, of course, she reached the final. First round, she beat the former world number one, Jo Mi. The quarterfinal disposed of Yip Hui Yin. Yip Hui Yin, of course, bronze medalist at the recent Asian Games. Well, she's developing power as well, is Saina nehwal.
Yeah, and there's the variety. Previous point, able to get through with the power smash. So the following point, when the shuttle's short, Sato going very deep in defence because of the previous point and caught with the drop shot. Nice variety. Keeping her opponent guessing.
Oh, that's a lovely angle.
13-18.
Nice touch, a real left-hander's shot that. Good control. Pushing deep into the court.
Service over.
Well, proving that she too has got the acute angles. Saina nehwal playing a lovely cross-court drop shot.
Yeah, it's been notable in this first game. It's been Saina who's actually taken the initiative and dictated the point, and Sato's been happy to run and respond and wait for the errors, but they haven't really been coming regularly enough for her to get a foothold in this match.
20, game point, 30.
So with the error on the round the head shot from Sato, comes 7 game points for number 4 seed Saina nehwal.